This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 323 of the Stable Scoop Radio Show, Streaming Lava Moguls. Please support our sponsors as they make this show possible.
Our sponsors this week are EasySignsOnline.com, Sparkle and Boom, and RidingWarehouse.com.
Welcome to the Stable Scoop, with weekly shows delivered right to you. With Helena and Glenn the Geek, live from the stable, it's every week. They'll bring you the news through hail or high water, while using their tails as their own fly swatters. So sit on down and laugh till you poop, cause it's time again for Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop.
I'm Glenn the Geek.
And I'm Helena B., and you're listening to the Stable Scoop Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network.
So now what usually happens when we start the show with Helena and I is I call her, and 99% of the time she's not there for whatever reason. Today, however, she was there on time and ready to go, but a little out of breath. And why was that, Helena?
A little out of breath. I'm always a little out of breath. I do come sliding into my chair at like 30 seconds before tape time, which was really no different this time. Only at 4 minutes before tape time, I get up. I'm like, I'm going to need something to drink. So I go to get something to drink, and I look out the window, and I can always see my horses grazing in the field. And it's actually fairly warm here in New England today. So whenever they can, they're out in that field. They're not there, that's not totally unusual. You know, they could be getting a drink. Sometimes they move around, whatever. But there was just something instinctively that made me say, you have 3.5 minutes to go out and see what the heck they're up to. You better get your ass in gear. So I go out to the barn, and I come around the corner, and there's Brody standing in one of the stalls, just hanging out, doing nothing. I'm like, Brody, what are you doing?
Normally, can they get into the stalls?
Yes, they have runouts. Okay. They have access to their stalls 24/7. But I don't see Calypso, the older guy. Now he's senior. He's old, and he's quiet and gentle. But let me tell you, this horse loves his grain. Oh. Loves his grain. So I go around the corner, and I peek my head into the second stall, which is empty, but the door is ajar. The sliding door into the barn is ajar. So I'm like, all right, he's in the aisleway. Big deal. What's he doing? He might be eating some hay. I've got some hay stacked up in the corner. No, he wasn't just eating hay. I forgot that yesterday I bought 2 bags of grain that fell. I was trying to get them into the barn. Now I have a broken right wrist, and the left middle finger on my other hand is broken. So carrying a 50-pound bag of grain is difficult at best. So I got one bag of grain into the tack room, and the other one I must have forgotten and left in the aisleway. Well, he had shredded one corner and was digging his little horsey nose into his grain, munching away like nothing was wrong. Like, this is where he should be. Now, he'd only gotten a tiny hole open and was, barely into it. So crisis was averted. But, he was like, what's up? Thanks for leaving me this convenient bag of grain. I was hungry.
Had he eaten a lot of it?
Oh, my God. No, like I said, he only got a little hole in it, and maybe he got, 3 or 4 cups full.
He ripped his way into that bag, though, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, he did. Now, Brody would have been like, oh, what's this? A plastic bag? Oh, how nice. I think there's grain in there. I don't know how to get in there.
Right.
But Calypso, being 127 years old, was like, I know how to get in there.
He's ripped into bags of grain before. He knows.
Yeah.
He's experienced.
Oh, my God. But the demeanor, it's just so funny. Like, he looks at you as if to say, well, I was kind of hoping I'd get halfway through this bag before you realized we were up to no good. But all right, I get it.
So he's okay. He hasn't.
He's fine.
He's not out there rolling or anything.
No. He's fine, and I can see them now. And he literally had maybe 4 cups of 4 people cups of grain, nothing too big.
Well-
And he gets a lot of grain because he is a senior horse.
Oh, okay. So he's going to get a
so-
reduced dinner tonight.
He didn't even have that much, but yeah, I'll give him a few handfuls less tonight. 4 minutes before I have to
We've all
record.
been
That's
there.
how stuff happens.
We've all been there when you just get dressed up to go out to dinner, or you're going to a party, or you need to go to a wedding, and that's when that happens. And you're all dressed up, and then the horse slobbers on you.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And then you have to change, and you don't have a spare. It's just that's when it happens. It's absolutely when it happens.
Yep, it never fails. That's the sign of a true horse person. The woman or man, the woman who runs out to the barn in her high heels because she needs to throw an extra flake of hay or check the locks or, And the funny thing is I'm always double checking my locks, and I can't say I never because I missed it this time, but I never really leave grain or anything like that can be just because my old horse Pie used to be able to open doors. He'd let himself out. He would let his friends out. We had to put brass snaps on everything.
I remember that.
Yeah. So I know better, but clearly I had a lapse in knowledge.
I remember he was even trying to open the brass snaps. He was.
He got one. He got one, that little bugger. I know. Bless his heart.
Next, you were going to need wire ties. You were just going to have to tie them shut and cut them each time. Well, we have a good show planned for you today. We have a lot of guests coming up again this week. We have Liz Ireland from a new website, new to us. That is fairly new, actually. It's called Stream Horse TV, and it solves a problem that I have had, and that's how I came across it, I think, was looking for a solution to that problem, and we'll talk about that. We have Erin Gilmore, who's an old friend of the Horse Radio Network, been on our shows many times, and she is a freelance reporter and also editor at Horse and Style magazine. And she went to Iceland for 2 weeks to ride horses through Iceland. So she's going to tell us what that was like. I can't wait to hear about that. And then we have our Riding Warehouse Tack and Habit segment today, and we have Justin from Total Saddle Fit about the shoulder relief girth. And it might be the first time a lot of you are hearing about this, but some of our hosts on the Horse Radio Network, including our eventing and dressage hosts, use this girth every day and absolutely love it. So we'll talk to Justin about that later on in the show. But let's get started first, right after this word from EasySignsOnline.com. With Liz Ireland. She's coming to us to talk about Stream Horse TV. And Stream Horse TV is sort of like a TV guide for where to find all those things that are streaming online, all the shows and things like that. And I've wanted to watch shows before, like say, oh, is there anything horsey on today, that might be doing live streaming? But how do you find that, right? So she actually does all the hard work, finds it, and puts it in a listing that's very easy to read. So you can go on there and go, oh, I can watch Arabians today. I can watch jumping today. I can watch something out of Yugoslavia today. And she has it all listed there. So we're going to talk to Liz right after this word from Easy Signs Online. This week's EasySignsOnline.com spotlight product is their New England Style Farm Signs, their most popular line of signs. New England Style Farm Signs are very durable and designed for long-term outdoor use with no maintenance required, no wood to rot, and no paint to peel. They will outlast the old style painted wood signs by many, many years. They are available in many sizes, shapes, and styles, which makes them the perfect sign for any farm or business. Go online today and go through the EasySignsOnline.com easy step-by-step ordering process to see all the prices and options available. They also offer free, no-obligation sign proofs on all New England-style signs, and you get free shipping as well on all New England-style signs. So replace your old worn-out sign and make a great first impression with a new farm sign from EasySignsOnline.com. And the holidays are right around the corner, so it's a terrific gift idea. I can't think of a better one. Visit EasySignsOnline.com. Well, hi, Liz. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I was looking around. I don't know where I found you on Facebook or somewhere. Somebody posted a link to it, and I went, well, it's Stream Horse TV. I'd never heard of it. So I went over to streamhorsetv.com, and I went, This is what I've been looking for,
Yeah.
especially in our business. You're always looking to tell people when they can find things online, then when they can watch live things online. And I just never knew there was a source like yours.
Well, that was actually what gave me the idea. I mean, honestly, I started this company completely by accident. What happened was I was looking for the same thing. And I finally thought, well, you know what? I'm just going to do it myself and just kind of see. So I did like the worst possible HTML 101 for dummies kind of little table. And I threw it up online for a select group of my Twitter friends. And one of them was, I have to give him credit, Andrew Minnick from the Youssef Network.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he DM'd me and he was like, you have got to get this into a serious website because we've been looking for something like this. The whole industry needs it. So I was like, well, okay. The Federation just told me to do it. I guess I better had.
Did you say to the Federation, and you're going to fund it, right? And
I wish I would have thought it to
Yeah.
say, but of course I didn't.
yeah,
And
that's
you know what, though? Honestly, I think we like keeping our autonomy a little bit more because, I mean, obviously the Youssef Network is the Mac daddy of all live streamers in the USA. But there's plenty of others out there, and every so often we do need to kind of ski off piste from the Federation. So, and in fact, I've been doing that today.
Well, I'm looking at what, the website is very simple, easy, laid out. You can go there. I just clicked on events, and it tells me, to give people an idea, it tells me that Penn National's going on right now. What went on, just finished, not too long. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, just finished. And that was October 9th through the 18th, but they could have watched the live stream. And that's something that, you would, if you're in that area or really into jumping or that kind of thing, you would know about Penn National, but otherwise you might not. And you would tune in here and you would never know about it had you not looked at this, like the Morgan Grand National.
Right, exactly. Well, see, that's what differentiates us from all the other people. I mean, there are disciplinary related sites that do just that discipline. And we're really trying to be like the USEF is. We're trying to be multidisciplinary. We're trying to have everything that everybody might want. And I think that's kind of what makes it different is nobody else has really tried to do that. And I mean, it might be breaking my back behind closed doors, but we're getting
But
it done.
it's fun work as this kind of stuff happens by accident. These are the happy accidents. We somehow find ourselves completely immersed in this hard work behind closed doors, but we also find ourselves extraordinarily happy doing that hard work.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. I mean, I've made some awesome friends already. And I mean, I'm having a huge time. I really am.
Now, you're not actually doing the streaming. You're sort of consolidating what's already
Right,
out
exactly.
there.
We sort of, we can't put this in print for copyright reasons, but we try to be the TV guide of horse show live streams.
Right. Okay.
For all the English disciplines. And I mean, way further on down the road, we might get into some embedding, but I'm not real sure that that's in our future because mainly a lot of times if you've got like a lower end website and you try to embed, it really kills the live stream stone dead.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to mention which horse show last week, but I mean, even they were like saying, look, go to our video provider because we can't serve you on this website. And it was just like, yeah, we understand why.
Well, you don't really need to. You really are like the TV Guide. TV Guide doesn't stream the shows on its website.
Right.
You truly are like the TV Guide.
Right, exactly. I mean, the cool thing about having them all on one page too is that people can watch on their cells and their little tablets and whatnot, and they don't have to be constantly switching back and forth between horse show websites. If they want to watch a little bit on the USEF network and a little bit from Germany or whatever, all those links are all on one page. So they just go pop, pop, and then hit the back button and pop again, and they can switch to wherever they want to go, which is good because there are more and more live streams coming up all the time.
Yeah,
There are. Once somebody in the horse world gets on the bandwagon, it's like, look out. we need a bigger wagon because it's true. They keep popping up.
Yeah, that was one of the things that really amused me. Like the first couple of weeks that we were in business, stuff that we were doing just instantly started popping up on other websites. Everybody was copying what we were doing. And I mean, and some of these were like really big horse shows and really big horse show management companies. And I was like, whoa, I guess we went from little mice to playing with the tigers. This is strange.
I like the way you have it the way you have the chart built here, because you can sort by date, you can sort by who it's presented by. So if you want to see all the USEF or FEI stuff together, you can. Cost, and I like that you put that in there, which ones are free and which ones have a subscription.
Yeah.
All of that, you can sort by all of those different things, and it really makes it nice.
You can sort by discipline, too, yeah.
Yeah,
just use the two-letter USEF abbreviations for the disciplines, and you can search like EV for eventing, pull up all the 3D eventing stuff if you want.
You do have, you have the Arabians on here. There's a lot of
Saddlebred starting this afternoon.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. So yeah, there's more shows going on than I thought.
Yeah. And there are more honestly than I can find, because I got the FEI list from international, and I nearly fainted. There's so many, and if you don't speak Czech, you're kind of in trouble. If you're looking right now I'm looking for the website for the Hungary thing that's coming up. There's like this big dressage driving jumping thing over in Hungary. Can't find the website. So I don't know if they're live streaming or not, but I feel like they did last year. So I need to keep hunting for that one.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, exactly. But now you know what my day and night look like pretty much all the time.
Oh, there's one coming up. There's one real quick. There's one coming up that I really want to watch, and that's the Royal Winter Fair.
Oh yes, yeah.
We've talked about that on the show here, Helena. Remember up in Canada?
Yeah,
and it's a huge deal up there.
I know.
Oh, yeah. Well, down here it was too. Down here the Royal was like the culmination of indoors back in the day. The trajectory was you'd go to Pennsylvania, then you'd go north to New York for Madison Square Garden, and then you'd go north again to Toronto for the Royal, and that was like the end of indoors. And this was before Wellington and all that, the winter circuits and stuff got going. But that was my understanding. I never went to the Royal, but my understanding was that it was kind of party central because everybody knew they were going on vacation after that.
I'm actually reading the copy on your front page.
Oh, gotcha.
There's every horse show we can find that has a live stream. So I don't want to give away your, the big secrets behind this, but so you close the doors, you get to work at finding all of these streams. Well, first of all, let me back up for a second. How long have you been doing this?
We started at the very end of June, we launched June 29th or something.
Okay,
so we haven't even done a full show season yet.
But so how is it difficult to reach out to these organizations to find the right person to get to the stream, or is it really just a matter of doing most of the work on your own? Do you have to deal with people? Because that's always kind of hairy.
Yeah, it's probably 50-50. I'll try to find the show dates on my own, and then if I have to and they don't already have it on their site, I'll call or email the show managers and say, hey, look, are you planning to live stream this year? Right.
Oh my God! How the heck do you come up with the Moscow Arabian Cup? In Moscow,
they actually the Arabian people have almost their own little live streaming company, that Arabian Horse Global thing, that presents absolutely everything that the Arabians do. Because that's a big money crowd, the Arabian.
Yeah.
So they can afford to have pretty much it's like their own little mini USEF network. So yeah, and they schedule stuff months in advance, all their live streams, because it's all the same crew. So
I'm looking at the second page here, all in November. We've got Moscow, we have Qatar, Qatar, however you say it. We got Germany, we got Austria, Netherlands. They're just feeds from all over the world here.
Yeah, there really are, and that's the most fun thing. I honestly, when I started the company, I had no idea that there were this many. And more keep popping up all the time, and that's great.
Any, I know you're going to shoot me for asking this, but any plans to take on the Western world, which will quadruple this?
You know what? Somebody else is already doing that.
Oh, there? Okay.
Yeah, they are. And I can't remember the name of the site, but when I was researching right before we went live, I found this one site that had pretty much all the Western stuff, and I was like, you know what? We're not going to go there. So that was kind of my excuse. That somebody else is already doing that. So
Liz. Do you think Google said that when they got into the search engine industry? Come on. You rock the world of live streaming English hunt seat. You just kind of roll into the Western world and take it over. Who knows? You could acquire it. It could be a hostile takeover.
Oh, we could do that. Sure. Yeah.
Because the horse world doesn't have enough drama.
And your list would quadruple because there's a ton of those, and they all seem to be live streaming now on the Western side.
Yes, they very much do. Yeah, I think the AQHA is another one that really.
Well, you got to understand that world too.
Yeah.
That is a whole different world.
It is a whole different world, and that's the other thing is I think that we were kind of wanting to stay in the side of things that we sort of know about. You
sound like a jumper person.
Well, actually, hunters, jumpers, and saddle seat, believe it or not. Yeah, I started out riding saddle seat, so I still have a fondness for the old shaky tails. I'll be tuning into that one this afternoon.
Well, this is great. It's called streamhorsetv.com. Put it, definitely bookmark it, put it in your browser because it's something that if you're going, I'd like to watch something horsey today or this weekend or whenever, there was really been no other good place to find where the live streams are. Unless you knew about them, you wouldn't go. You necessarily watch the Morgan Grand National at the Oklahoma State Fairground, But if you come here and see it's there, you might just turn it on for a little while. It's perfect.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I've definitely watched stuff that I would have never watched now that I have it.
Like coming up, or actually just finished, was the New England Equitation Championships.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was really good.
I think I could only watch about two classes of that. It's sort of, for me, like dressage.
You know what's funny is the EC kids are the ones that are really, really using this website.
Really?
So, yeah. And I think that's why USEF Network went with that, too. I mean, they're the young kids are the ones that are really blowing this site up. So, yeah. Anytime there's equitation, we're on it.
Well, and of course, what your big stream right now, your big live stream all over the country will be the Washington Internationals going on right now.
Right, so, exactly. Yeah, everybody's watching that, of course.
Yep, the big.
And I'm actually watching the Royal West from Canada, which is another one that I was completely unfamiliar with, and that's going on right now too.
Isn't that weird? This is just so much.
There's so many, and they just keep popping up all the time. And every so often, you'll get like the last minute ones. I just found out today about one down in Mexico that's doing show jumping. And it just goes on and on and on.
Wow. Well, I'm happy
show managers, if you have a horse show live stream and we don't know about it, please find us on Twitter or Facebook. Or
did you have the World Percheron Congress?
Yes, we did.
Because we were
and
there.
We had somebody sending us photos. Actually, the videographer is like a pal at this point. So he was sending us all kinds of stuff from there.
Yeah, we were up at that. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, cool.
But I knew they were doing the live stream because all our listeners were watching us. So.
Yep.
You know? I didn't know. Oh, man, was I picking my nose? I probably was. My butt wedgie live stream. See, that's the problem now. We're not on TV anymore. We're going to be on the internet, live, in motion, in person.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Everybody's going to be watching everything now.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I need to get a wig.
Sad. Yeah, it's sad but true. But TV's days as an influencer are completely over at this point.
I don't even watch TV anymore. Yeah. I haven't watched TV in like 2 years.
Yeah, and there was a statistic that came out just yesterday, I think, that millennials, something like 65% of them don't watch TV. And
they're watching everything online. Yeah.
Yeah. The horse show industry being a young person's sport, probably need to start thinking about how you're going to maximize those live streams.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Well, you started it, didn't you? You're already on that boat.
And one of the ways you can do that is by helping fund streamhorsetv.com by contacting Liz.
Yep, that's exactly right. Now, I do need to make it clear that the listings are always free.
Right.
It's not in our best interest to charge for that.
No, I was just busting your chops.
We want reach. We want, every horse show everywhere to call us up and say, hey, we got a live stream coming up. Put us on your calendar. So that's always free. But yeah, definitely.
And these things always end up starting as, it just sort of happened, but it always is a lot of work. And,
it is a lot of work, and I'm really, really blessed that, I've got really supportive bosses in the legal field, and I've got my business partner was a big name accountant for a Fortune 500 company. So, going in, it was a huge shock to go from like 0 hits on the website to 43,000 the first week, which is what happened.
Holy cow.
Yeah. It was nuts. It was truly nuts, and I thought I was going to have a nervous breakdown. But luckily, I've got the people in place behind me that were going, don't worry about it, we'll get this fixed. But right now, we're all about controlled growth. We don't want any more of those nasty surprises like that.
No, they're nice surprises, but not nice surprises.
Oh yeah,
and
it was both. I mean, it was like it was like electricity. It'll either be a cattle prod or it'll electrocute you to death. It's just, oh my God.
We know. Well, thank you so much for being on, and we appreciate all the effort that you put in for all of us.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
thank you
you've
so
got a new
much.
fan for sure.
Yeah, definitely come back and visit anytime.
DreamHorseTV.com.
Sparkle and Boom is a new media marketing company. Our mission is to help small businesses add some sparkle to their marketing in order to get some boom in their bottom line. Our creativity, combined with an extensive background in the equestrian industry, makes us perfectly suited to help your business capture the potential of social media and the ever-changing World Wide Web. Visit us online at www.sparkleandboom.com. Our next guest is Erin Gilmore. As Glenn mentioned, she is the editor at one of my favorite publications, Horse and Style magazine. And she's going to talk to us about her recent trip to Iceland, where she, among other things, rode through lava moguls. Let's hear from Erin.
Before we get to her, you know how they say there are Renaissance men? You know what I mean by that?
I do.
Erin's a Renaissance girl. I don't even know if that's a thing, but I'm making it a thing. She's a Renaissance girl. That's what she's always traveling, always doing cool stuff. I admire her.
Aw.
Renaissance
A girl after your own heart. Okay, so we're going to hear about what makes Erin such a great Renaissance girl and how she made it through those lava moguls.
Well, hi, Erin. Welcome back.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Where are you at now, by the way? I know you're in the car, stuck in traffic somewhere.
I am. I'm in Los Angeles, and I'm on the way to San Diego, where the Del Mar International Horse Show is going on this weekend. There's a World Cup Qualifier Grand Prix that I'm going to cover and photograph, so I'm pretty excited.
Everybody I think knows exactly where you're stuck in traffic then. Everybody that's been in California has been on that road sitting still. So
pretty much.
Yeah, people probably get a lot of work done on their commutes too.
That's right.
From the office.
Yeah, actually I do. Yeah, exactly.
More work done on the California freeways than in the offices.
When you're going
Right.
2 miles an hour, it's pretty safe to get work done while you're driving. Now, tell us, the reason we had you on is you got an opportunity to take really a trip of a lifetime. And we mentioned that you're the editor for Horse and Style magazine, and I assume that's why you took the trip was to write the article that we'll talk about.
Yeah, that's exactly the reason. I was very lucky to be invited by Riding Iceland. It's a touring company in Iceland to go and ride around the country for 2 whole weeks in August. And it was just simply amazing. I've ridden horses my entire life. I used to ride for sales barns and ridden hunter jumpers and polo horses, but this was by far the most breathtaking and also just simply harrowing riding I've ever done before. They just go fast over all types of footing, and we did that for 7-8 hours a day for 2 weeks straight.
Wow.
Holy cow. So these are hardy little horses.
They are. The Icelandic horse is the only horse in the world, or the only country in the world that only has one breed of horse on the island. The Icelandic horse has really evolved purely, and they are the most tough little horses. They are sure-footed. They're gaited. They have a gait called a tolt. They're really comfortable to ride. I was a little bit worried, even though I ride a lot. Like, if you think about it, 8 hours in the saddle a day, anyone's going to think, I don't know, that might be too much. But these horses were amazing. They were so comfortable to ride. You rode at least 2 horses per day. And the extra horses ran loose with us the whole time. So we got to play cowboy and help herd them.
God, that's awesome.
Well, now they're little.
Yeah.
I met you before. You're pretty tall. So did you feel tall on them?
No, I didn't. And, Icelandic men are tall. All the men with us were 6 feet or taller. And they didn't look particularly tall. They certainly didn't feel too big for these horses. Some of the ones I rode were small. They would measure a small pony. But they just are, it's hard to describe. It's a different kind of horse. They're really handy. They're really fast. And like I said, I could be going down a mountainside with loose rock on the path, and the path was so skinny I could barely see it, at a full tilt. And these horses made me feel safe. It was really, really remarkable.
Do they wear shoes or do they go barefoot?
they wore shoes, all four. If
Yeah.
they lost one, you would switch off the horse, and they would fix the shoe right there.
So typically, how many horses and riders were in your group on any given day?
We did 2 weeks, and the first week was small. We had about 15 riders between guides and us. And the second week was big. We had about 25, 30. So then the loose horses were up in numbers depending on the riders. We had about 60 loose horses with us the second week. The first week we had about 20. So you were just riding with the herd the whole time.
That's something that very few people ever get to experience, isn't it?
It is. And you know what? I also feel after being there that it's not that far away. It's only a 4-hour flight from Boston. And,
I knew this was coming.
It really, I mean, yes, when I was there on the edge of the world and they were pointing over towards where Greenland was and saying, oh, it's only so many miles away to Greenland. Yeah, you feel like you're very, very remote and you're just somewhere that not a lot of people go. But at the same time, we want to go back. I brought my coworker, who is a photographer, Christina Parker, and her and I, we want to go back next year. We had so much fun. We made friends with the guides. We decided which horses we want to go back and take home.
So what was it that surprised you about Greenland?
Iceland. What surprised me about
Iceland. I'm sorry. Yes.
That the cold didn't bother me as much as I was afraid it would, because it was very cold, and I am a wimp, and I avoid winter.
Yeah, you're a Florida girl.
I'm totally Florida, California. I just chase summer wherever I go. So everyone said to me, "Oh, you're gonna be miserable. It's gonna be so cold," and it was cold. I wore 3-4 layers of breeches and pants every single day, but just for what we were doing and where we were, it was so amazing. The cold didn't matter.
Now, isn't Iceland the place where they have those hot springs?
It is, yes. We did that. Yep. I went to the Blue Lagoon. How can you not, right?
Right.
Yeah. It was fun.
It was warm. It was
warm. It was warm there.
Did you feel like you were working or like you were on vacation?
I was definitely working. I definitely was a little tied to my computer. I looked for the Wi-Fi wherever I could, and we were really focused on the photos we wanted to get. And the story I wanted to write, it was actually one of the hardest stories I've written, just because every single day something amazing would happen. And for 14 days, you can only fit so much into one story. So it was a really fun challenge. I mean, my work never really feels like 9-to-5 work. But when I go back next year, and it's when, not if, I'm definitely going to leave my computer at home.
Now
that says a lot.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
Did you feel a little bit like Darlie Newman from Equitrekking?
I felt like I could definitely do her job if she wants to offer me, a co-hosting position. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I talked to her yesterday.
I could definitely hang that.
She was on Horses in the Morning yesterday, and she does have the job that every horse girl in the world wants.
Right.
You know what? Erin's coming up right behind her. Erin's coming up right behind her. So what were the people like that you were riding with? Were they mostly Americans? Were they Icelandic people? What type?
They were not. We were in the minority as Americans. The other riders on the tour were from countries from Finland, France, Canada, Germany, all kinds of countries. And the guides, there was at least 3 or 4 of them. And Icelandic people are very straightforward. Like, you get the feeling that they just live a life where things are on a different sort of basic level. And at first you think, oh, do these people even like us? Are they going to smile? Do they want us to just go away? But by the end, they're singing. We're best friends with them. They're so great. They really opened up, and it was really just wonderful. We're in touch with them still. We've been sending them pictures, and one of the guys' wives is knitting us sweaters, Icelandic sweaters. So we're really excited about that. Really, really great people who care about their horses.
I
have to ask about the food, because I always ask about the food. I'm not much for seafood or fish. Am I stuck? I have to bring my own food along.
The food was good.
Okay, like Amish basic,
It was-
like Paris basic.
Amish basic, maybe. I mean, okay, well, you do have porridge every day, but you really want the porridge in the morning because you're going to go ride for 8 hours. We would pack our own lunches, like a turkey sandwich. Dinner was fish stew or fish or grilled fish or, fish. Like,
Yeah, I definitely have to bring some beef along. I'd have to pack some hamburger or something.
Well, there was also lamb. The lamb was very good, and it was different, but it was all really good. And at the end of the day, you just want to eat something, and it wasn't hard.
Yeah.
There was nothing weird. There was none of that. There was nothing that we came across where we said, "Oh my God, we can't eat this." Everything was good, and everything was included.
You weren't
too.
served like sautéed newt or anything like that, or
No. Although that would have been interesting, but no.
So you didn't
It was
you didn't
good.
meet Bourdain along the way. He wasn't doing a show and eating food on your same trip.
No, we went
No.
to a very nice restaurant when we first got to the capital the first day, which I still can't pronounce. I'm sorry, Reykjavik. Very good food and also extremely expensive. The country is an expensive country just because of its location.
Yeah.
So, hanging out in the city was really fun too, but definitely not for the faint of heart. But once we were on the tour, and they flew us to different parts of the country on the smallest planes I've ever been on in my life, through airports that were like train stations. That was an experience in and of itself. But once we were there, we were totally taken care of.
So was there at any point riding or on the planes or anything where you were like scared?
The riding, it was very advanced, very, very advanced riding where I just sometimes said, okay, I'm just going to have balance and not get in this horse's way because this horse has done this before and I may be galloping across a field of lava moguls, but apparently the horse can do this, so I'm just going to let it go.
lava moguls. There we
That
have
sounds
the
something
title of the show.
Yeah, lava
There we have-
moguls.
So this is coming from a girl who used to ski moguls. I don't think I want to ride moguls.
That's the best way to describe some of the terrain. But it was so interesting just to see these horses and how they've adapted and how they interact with each other. And they just are sensible, great, wonderful horses.
How long did it take you to develop the trust in the horses that you were on? You said you felt very safe. Did that kind of happen within the first hour, or did it take you a couple of days of riding before you figured that out?
I think that depends on the type of rider you are, because you can sit and be scared and fight with the horse and make a situation worse. But I'm not that type of rider, and if I'm in a situation like that and the horses I know are experienced in this, I'm just going to let the horse tell me, what's the best way to go. I feel like the more I got to know the horse, the more I would worry, and then the more I would try and get in their way. So it's almost at the beginning was a little bit easier, even though the riding we were doing was. We were looking at each other the whole time going, oh, my God, are we going to gallop up this mountainside right now? Is this really happening? Or are we going on the road? Is that bus going to stop? And so it was interesting.
Kind of sounds like hunting.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. But in that country, the country, speaking of Los Angeles, the whole country population is a fraction of the population of Los Angeles. And people know. They see a herd of 60 horses jack them on a road, which happens a lot. They just stop the car and they wait till you pass. They give you a little wave, and it's like part of their day. Tourists would take pictures of us, but it was great. It was a once in a lifetime experience, but it was so amazing. It's one of those things that I think that every rider should. It's just fun.
Well, Aaron, where can people find the articles and the pictures? You got to go see the pictures.
Yeah, I did some blogs online at stylematic.com during the trip in our travel section, and the print magazine is out right now with the bigger long form story, and it can be read online. You can subscribe online, and it's also horseandstylematic.com. And I just have to say that Riding Iceland, the company that we went with, they have a great website as well, and they're a great company, and they're riding-iceland.com. They're worth checking out for sure.
And you were breaking up a little bit. It's horseandstylemag.com, right?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Horseandstylemag.com. Lots of good things over there, not just Iceland, but lots of neat stuff. And they have the website, and also you can subscribe to the magazine as well. Horse and Style Mag. Where's that out of, by the way? Where are they located?
It's out of Northern California.
Okay, cool. Very
Excellent.
good. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Erin. Keep in touch, will you? And let us know about all your different fun things and the travels you're getting up to.
That was a high point, but I will if I get into anything else that's exciting.
Let me know. All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Hey, you know
Erin.
what?
Thanks a lot.
You know what? Darley won an Emmy. You're going to be up soon.
Okay. Well, at least I've got something to aspire to.
Hi, Fiona Crawford here, and I'm an official Horse Radio Network auditor. I'm a horse photographer based in the UK, and when I'm editing my images, I listen to the vast selection of great programmes provided by the Horse Radio Network. Both informative and really entertaining, I think it's worth a few dollars or pounds of anyone's money. Just go to horseradionetwork.com and click on the banner, and for as little as $1 a month, you too can become an official Horse Radio Network auditor.
This Tack and Habit segment is brought to you by RidingWarehouse.com. Well, coming up today on the Tack and Habit segment, we have Justin from Total Saddle Fit with the shoulder relief girth. And let's find out all about that. Well, hi, Justin. Welcome to the Stable Scoop Radio Show.
Well, thank you. It's great to be on with the two of you.
Well, you've been on the dressage show and done some saddle fitting tips and things like that. This is a little bit different. We talk strictly about product and try and bring products to people that they may not have heard of before. And you have one that I can tell the listeners that Reese and Phillip from the hosts of the Dressage Radio Show absolutely love this thing. They use it on their horses every day when they ride, and that is the shoulder relief girth. So tell us about it, Justin.
Well, in short, the shoulder relief girth is a girth that we designed specifically to help with saddle fit. So, there's a million girths out there, so that's obviously not a new concept, attaching a saddle to a horse. But what we've done with this one is change the shape to a really unique design where it allows the girth to fit in the horse's natural girth groove, but the sides of the girth are cut back by about 2 inches, which allows the billet line of the saddle to attach to the horse, to wrap around the horse's body a little bit further back. That makes the billet line of the saddle more perpendicular to the ground, and it keeps the saddle from either sliding up over the horse's shoulders or digging in behind the horse's shoulders. It just gives them much better range of motion. And then as an ancillary benefit, due to the cut back design, it also gives their elbows more clearance when they're moving.
I'll tell you, I am so excited right now because, as Glenn had mentioned, I have not seen this until now. And I'm one of those people who girths up her horse slowly but surely and is constantly micro adjusting to try and find that place that just intuitively feels right. You know what I mean? You girth up and then you step back and you kind of look at your entire package and you go, no, it's going to pull down into his shoulder. It's going to pinch. It's just not right. And so I'm constantly micro adjusting and I never feel like I've gotten the girth in the saddle in exactly that sweet spot. So this is really
exciting. That's a really good point. Well, thank you. And that's a really good point that you bring up, which is worth mentioning that, what we've heard a handful of times, questions are, well, why don't you just put the saddle where it's supposed to be and then we don't need a shoulder relief girth? And now, while that is a great idea in theory, the trouble is, like you're talking about with the micro adjusting, the saddle, even if you put it in the exact right spot, it's always going to shift around and find that sort of natural position where it wants to rest, sort of the position of least resistance on a horse's back.
Yeah.
Now, that might not always be the right place. Depending on the horse's top line or the girth groove or the angle of the billet, that can be up over the shoulders. It can be all over the place. So even if you set it in the right place or finally find that perfect little sweet spot where you want the saddle to be, if you don't have the right setup and the girth isn't right for the horse, then next thing you know, 5 minutes from now, it'll be in a totally incorrect position.
So I tend to like the double elastics on each side. Do you, what do you feel about that? Does that sort of contribute to the overall saddle fit health, I guess, for lack of a better?
Yeah, and that's more from our standpoint about just making sure the horse stays comfortable. Now, from a saddle fit standpoint, if we kind of take the girth out of the equation, we could achieve the same saddle fit with or without elastic in terms of keeping it in the right position.
Mm-hmm.
But the elastic is just nice for comfort, and breathability. It allows that give. Of course, this is a live animal whose body's, moving all the time and, breathing in and out and stuff. So we want to give a little bit of flexibility so that, a horse doesn't feel pinched or constricted, or, the saddle never feels like it's being too clamped down on them. So it's just really of a comfort issue more than anything else.
Sure.
Now, we have all kinds of riders. We have, that listen to this show and I think a lot of them are trail riders that might use an English saddle. What advantage would this girth have for a trail rider?
Now, the beauty of the shoulder relief girth is that it pretty much applies, its advantages are applied no matter what kind of riding you're doing. Now, in full disclosure, the majority of our clientele are, competing dressage and jumping riders. But they only do that because, the sort of competition riders are, typically really want their horses to perform the best they can. But regardless of whether you're trail riding, endurance riding, or competition, riding in shows and stuff, it's going to give your horse's shoulder more freedom to move and just generally make them more comfortable. So anybody who's interested in saddle fit, who wants their horse to be as comfortable as they possibly can, have that freedom of motion, is going to get a benefit from this girth.
Might even be more important for the serious trail riders who go out for a day at a time and do the camp trips and stuff, because they're actually spending more time on that horse than your dressage rider or your jumper rider.
That's a very good point. Yeah, I'm totally with you there.
Yeah, that is true. And, when you look at a girth like this and you look at the quality of it, and I've seen them, when you look at the quality of it, you would think they were a $250 girth, and yours are they're $124.
Exactly. Yes, our short girths are $124.
Yeah.
And that was another sort of element here, is because, you find if you get far enough, into riding and find all the different tack options out there, you can find girths for $500. And, as I'm sure, anybody would love to make that available in their budget. It's just not realistic. So we wanted to make something that was, of course, really durable and really high quality and aesthetically pleasing, but a big factor for us was making it accessible for every rider. So if we had a girth that was $400 or $200 or something, that'd be really hard for a lot of people to make work. But we were able to do it. So yeah, we're in the 125 range, which makes it actually accessible for people to want to help their horse.
It's fabulous. I mean, I'm gonna try it because I'm gonna buy it because it's. I'm not a competitive rider. I'm a backyard horse owner. We do mostly trail riding. When I can, I get out fox hunting. So that doesn't mean, though, that the products that I use need to perform any less professionally than a competitive rider. So it does bring this level of quality to the backyard horse owner or the budget-minded horse owner who still has, high standards for comfort for their horse.
There are people that spend $400 on a saddle pad. So it's like...
Yeah. Yeah.
We were never one of those, but there are a lot of those out there. So, spending $150 on a girth doesn't seem, on a really good girth that's going to last you a long time and going to help your horse, doesn't seem like much at all. It's TotalSaddleFit.com is where you find it. They come in brown and black. There's all kinds there's a ton of different sizes, so you can check out all the sizes, whether you need to put it on a dressage saddle or an all-purpose saddle or jumping saddle, whatever you need. And you said to us too that are we allowed to mention the Western might be next year?
You're absolutely allowed to. Though I don't have an exact date, but we're looking at very early 2015 to make a Western cinch version of the shoulder relief girth. The requests have been absolutely through the roof, so we're actually in the testing process right now. And when we wrap that up, we'll get one out as soon as we possibly can.
Awesome.
TotalSaddleFit.com, the shoulder relief girth. This Tack and Have It segment was brought to you by RidingWarehouse.com, your one-stop online tack shop. A huge selection of your favorite products and brands, but also including really unique and hard-to-find items like knee patch and full-seat riding jeans with cargo pockets. rigging converters, and a wide variety of bitless bridles. Listeners of the Horse Radio Network can use the coupon code RADIO for 15% off their order this month only, plus free shipping over $50 or $5 for second-day air, and a return policy like no other in the business, and that is free returns for 1 year both ways. You can find it all at ridingwarehouse.com. Give them a chance and save 15%. Use the coupon code RADIO at checkout. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We really appreciate it. We'll be back next week with another show, and you can find Helena at
sparkleandboom.com.
Sparkleandboom.com is where you can find Helena. Of course, you can find all of the shows on the Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com. And you can find, the easiest place to find us really is at our app, which is on iOS or Android. Just get on your phone, go to iOS or Android App Store, and search for Horse Radio Network. It also works on your iPad. Are you going to get a new iPad now? The new?
I don't have an iPad.
I don't have one either.
It's funny for somebody who's been in technology for her entire adult life. I'm so low tech these days. I have one phone, which is not even an iPhone. I have a Droid that I love, and I have a Mac. And that's it. I do have a PC laptop for testing because I do work in technology, but that's it. It's just for testing screen sizes and resolutions and fun things like that. But yeah, I'm low tech.
We've never had an iPad either, and that might shock people because I am Glenn the Geek. But you know why I never wanted to have one? Because I was afraid when I'm sitting watching TV at night and I'm finally done a 12-hour day staring at my computer that I would bring the iPad along and stare at that. And it's like, I don't need to stare at that. I need a break from it. So that's why I never did. It's like, okay, I can do everything I need to do with laptops. I don't need my iPad. So that's why I never did. But there are times I do want one.
I want one too. Santa.
That's right. Thank you to our sponsors, EasySignsOnline.com, Sparkle and Boom, and Riding Warehouse. We'll be back again next week, everybody. Well, Helena, that's it for this week.
In case you weren't aware, Glenn and I are in the process of making our next blooper reel. Okay, ready?
Well, Helena, that's it for this week.
No, I still messed it up. 3, 2, 1.
Well, Helena, that's it for this week.
That's plenty, Glenn, but there will be more next week. Until then, happy scooping.